What's up, guys? Keith Kalfas. We have a very special guest for you today. This is Brandon Vaughn, president of All Clean Soft Wash in Portland, Oregon. He has over 20 employees and does over $1 million a year. And this is really awesome. I want him to tell his story, but really importantly, dive into hiring and retaining employees and how to go about that in your business. So this is really cool. What's going on, Brandon?
What's up, man? Not much. Just here chilling with you, enjoying myself.
So you're from Portland, Oregon, and can you tell us your story really quick? How you started out, how you got into this business, and then what brought you to today, but also more importantly, what were some of the pitfalls and things that you went through, like you were telling me before the interview, that brought you to this state of consciousness?
Yeah, well, state of consciousness. Yeah, there's so my backstory is pretty simple. It's probably like a lot of guys who got started in the window cleaning business. My dad actually started All Clean Window Service in 1978. And he was the guy behind the glass, operating the squeegee for over 30 years, just pretty much him and a helper. And that's all he ever wanted to do, was just have a really nice, small, simple business, just him and a helper. And did about $100,000 to $120,000 a year for 30 plus years. In 2011, he was diagnosed with heart disease. And this was kind of one of those moments where I was like, whoa, now what? The doctor told him, hey, you can continue to work, but you just can't do any of these motions, with the hand over the head. That's like, oh crap, that's like, everything that I do day in and day out. So he hadn't set aside any money for retirement, didn't really have a backup plan of what he was going to do. I started working with him when I was like 13 years old. I actually worked full-time as a window cleaner, as his helper, from like the age of 14 while I homeschooled through high school, and then worked right alongside him. So in 2011, when this happened, he kind of approached me and was like, hey, what can we do? We're either going to close down the business or something's going to happen. So I bought the business from my dad in 2012. We had one employee, and we just said, hey, I want to grow this business, Dad. I want to grow it. We're going to get it set up. I'll take care of you and Mom. Don't worry about it. You need to be focused on your health and try to get to the point of retirement. And so 2012, we just kind of set out to grow the business. And it's been a road, because I have no formal business training, but I love to learn. I like surrounding myself with other successful people and, try to latch onto their shirts and glean some success and some golden nuggets from them.
Oh yeah.
And that's pretty much what I did, and what I have been doing and continue to do to this day is just learning, trying to get this, figured out as I go.
Speaking of learning, what's your favorite book that you're reading right now or just read?
Okay, so life-changing book for me was The E-Myth.
E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
You too? Yeah, man. Awesome. Right on. So, the exact same book for me, that was a huge turning point to where, the mindset that I knew for the last 30 years of my dad's business model, it's not where, we couldn't follow that anymore, especially if we were going to, do what we set out to do. So the E-Myth was like, okay, here's how you work on the business. Here's how you grow it. Here's how you make it successful. It was like, get that light bulb.
Pick up the E-Myth if you don't got it. It's an amazing book. You get an audiobook as well, and he has E-Myth for contractors and different variations. It's a phenomenal book. I've listened to it probably 10 or 12 times, and every time I learned something new. It's talking about building a culture and things like that.
Yeah.
But
working on your business, not working in your business.
Yeah.
And so the one that I read was the Why Most Businesses Fail and What to Do About It.
Exactly.
That was the one that he has like a ton of them now. The other really good book that I've been kind of obsessed a little bit more lately with company culture, because I've had some devastating moments in the last 4 years that was really kind of tough surrounding employees and the challenges of a growing company, because now we have over 20.
Over 20 employees.
Over 20 employees now. And so in these last 4 years, I feel like I've experienced just about every employee problem that you could possibly have, even though I know that's not the case, but it kind of has felt that way.
Yeah.
So anything that has to do with company culture right now and making your employees viciously loyal and productive.
Is there a specific book on that, aside from E-Myth, that you've learned a lot? Or a podcast or any influencer?
Oh man, almost too many to count, honestly.
Yeah.
One of the things that's really important to do is to get a business mentor.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is I was set up I did some research and found this program that's through the Small Business Development Center, the SBDC, and they have free mentorship programs.
Okay,
And
so this can be in their city too?
oh yeah, it's nationwide.
Like small business administration,
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. When I first started my landscaping business, I do landscaping and window cleaning. You know that. I actually went to the small business administration and attended a few meetings. I forgot about that. So you can get in and find mentors and get around like-minded people. I was surrounded by complete negative, welfare-minded, broke 9-to-5ers and people collecting food stamps and pulling my hair out because, I knew that I wanted to grow this business thing, and it's not until you start doing well that you start attracting other friends that are business owners, because you know what I mean. So you did it through that.
Yeah, and the business mentor, she was in a completely different industry as me, but she was brilliant. And really, a lot of the mentors that are there, they're all brilliant. I mean, even though the program's free, it almost doesn't do it justice. You almost feel like they should charge something for it so that you kind of, realize the value of what you're getting and stick with it. So, I was dedicated to once a month going in and setting up my appointments and going in and meeting with her.
Even though you had a business to run and jobs to do and everything, you were still dedicated to growth.
You have to. The thing is that if you're working in your business and you're the guy that's behind the wand or behind, the mower or behind whatever that technician does, you are losing out on the opportunity to do something that no one else in your business can, which is set out to grow it and develop it and, nurture it and work on it rather than working in it. And so it's the same thing that I've heard from every single person that runs a successful business is the sooner you get out of the field, the better you can grow. The better you can grow and take off. And I'm sure you hear the same thing from everybody.
I've actually gotten out of the field in my business 2 or 3 different times where I was just selling jobs, and I'd show up at the job or tell the guys what to do, then I'd leave, and then my top guy, something happens in a family issue, he starts having a nervous breakdown, then I got to run in and save it, and then or leaves, or I find out a guy is doing something he shouldn't do and I've got to get rid of him. And we do screen our employees and things like that, but the number one issue is how do I find and train and develop employees? How do I find guys that will stick around that are actually, because we go inside of people's homes. This is very, very important. So tell me, I kind of jumped ahead. I want to know about like that nightmare situation in your business that really where you had a breakdown, and then get into the employee thing too.
Yeah. So for me, it was 2014. So not that long ago. This is when I had my first panic attack. I mean, like straight up on the couch. My wife's holding the phone. Like, should I dial 911? Should we take you to the emergency room? Like, what do we do? And my heart was racing out of control. I was having a hard time.
So there's jobs going on, there's guys out working, and everything's collapsing.
So what ended up happening is what caused that moment, so that didn't come out of the blue, well, kind of, but what caused that moment was 6 months previous to that, I lost my brother, really unexpectedly. He actually took his life, which is like a whole nother thing to kind of process. He was an employee of the business at the time. He was working with me, and he had really severe depression issues that we were trying to kind of work on as a team, and so having a personal life-shattering event that happens ripples through your entire company and ripples through everything, especially when you're so closely and deeply involved with what's going on. Which in 2014 I had 7 employees, so we were small, smaller, and so 6 months after that, the business suffered. Our growth kind of went like this and, kind of dropped down a little bit. And in 2000 and very first part of 2015, we were booked out for like 2-3 months, height of our busy season. 4 out of my 7 employees quit within like a 1-month period. It was just like pop, 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 and they all just started just leaving. And I was like, well, what's going on? My whole world is collapsing. And what I started realizing at that point was, I didn't have a good enough incentive as to what was going on with my employees. I didn't have a connection with my employees. I was focused a lot on kind of what my goals were and what my vision was and what I was looking to do, and I was focused a lot on me, but I wasn't focused on what my employees' visions, what their goals, what their dreams were. And that was a big turning point to realize that the reason why people are leaving is because they don't feel it anymore. They don't feel that vision, and they don't feel cared about. So that was a turning point for me to be like, okay, I really need to work on company culture right now.
So in the midst of going through, because one of the levels of enlightenment is while you're going through something, you can actually see why it's happening. Were you able to see it? Were you blind to it?
It took me a little while. This is the benefit of having mentors.
Ah, that's huge. Yep. When you're having a breakdown, in order to get to the breakthrough, a mentor can help you see what you can't.
The entrepreneur process can be so isolated. You can feel like you're an island.
Yes.
And if you're not connected with other like-minded people, and not just people that are in the same struggle as you are, because I think a lot of time people like being in little groups of other contractors that are going through the same struggles, but they've never really found the solution, and it's kind of more of just a
bitch fest.
Yeah, where it's just like, oh, this is my problem too. Oh yeah, employees suck. They're the worst. They're awful. They never show up on time. They never do this. They never do that. They never do this. And when you're surrounded with those types of people, or that's your environment, then that's your mentality. And so for me, what my goal was is I need to surround myself with people who have fixed the problem and they understand what the issue is and they've been through it, but they've also found the solution. And you just can't find that sometimes even in your own industry. Sometimes you have to go to different industries.
Yeah.
Ones that deal with even more turnover than you do. And wow, they had this amazing system I didn't even know existed. No one in our industry is doing this. And these guys have it dialed in.
Yes.
Unless you're plugged in with those kind of business mentors, you never learn about that stuff.
Real quick, you're hitting on what I like to relate to it like a paradigm. So you said outside of the industry. One of the biggest things I started to learn once I started growing my small business was, oh my God, there's a whole world outside of this job thing.
Yeah.
And there's going to live events and stuff like that. So if you can't find that even in a person or people, then literally seek online. That's why people are watching YouTube and they're checking out these guys. That's why you guys are here right now in this course, because it's to go, it's reaffirming something that sometimes you kind of already knew or you didn't even know. And that's how you make this amazing transition or transcendence, is by it's consciousness. It's totally consciousness. So you had that breakdown, and then you had mentors, and you started to say, I got to install systems in company culture, which is, because we're talking about employees, this is extremely important. When you say culture, company culture, what do you mean by that to keep the morale high? Or, so the guys don't want to just quit over $1 from somewhere else, you know what I mean?
Culture is one of those kind of vague words that gets thrown around a lot. That everyone's like, well, what is company culture? What does this mean? For me, what it means is being able to accurately and inspirationally communicate your vision to your team and for them to buy into it.
Accurately and inspirationally communicate your vision to your team.
Yeah. So, you want to be able to communicate your vision to the team, and you have to make some kind of a connection as to why your employees need to care. And Simon Sinek, I don't know if you're familiar with
Simon Sinek, yeah. The power of the why.
Amazing, yeah. Start with the why. If you want to watch that TED Talk that he has on Start with Why, that's like an amazing 20-minute watch.
Yeah, look up Simon Sinek, Ask Why, TED Talk. He talks about Apple and all that stuff. It's genius.
So it's being able to communicate why the company's doing what it's doing, why the employees need to care about that, why helping the company achieve all of its visions and goals and hopes and dreams can help them achieve their visions, hopes, and dreams, because they actually are related. If there's more profit in the company, are you able to give your guys a little bit better incentive?
Wait a second, how are you going to do that if you're outside trying to clean a screen with a squeegee in your hand while the phone's ringing, and the guy over there is like standing inside of the trailer or the van taking a smoke break on the customer's property?
Right. Well, this is all part about you not being in the field. In order for you to build these systems, you have to be extracted out of the technician role.
Extracted out of the technician role.
So what my goal is, what my whole vision is with my company, is I started out as a technician in 2012. It was me and a helper. And my goal is to fire myself as a technician, or let's put it this way, promote myself to the next role in the company, and then fire myself from this job, and then fire myself from this job and move up to here, and fire myself from this job, move up to here, and then eventually you're just CEO running it. And my goal is to fire myself as CEO and to promote someone else in my company to be the CEO of the company.
So you have a business running on autopilot.
Business running on autopilot, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that once you realize, one of my business mentors, one of her exercises was she's like, she's getting so frustrated with me because I was like, but I need to be here, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that. And she goes, Brandon, write down control on this piece of paper. And I was like, all right, I wrote it down there. She's like, I'll shred it into 1,000,000 pieces. She's like, you need to understand that your need to control things, and I think as business owners we do that. We want to be in control. It's like, I can do it better, I can do this better. But once you start building this company culture and start communicating the vision, all of a sudden your employees make this connection with, wow, if I help the company succeed, I can be successful. And it's not just a theoretical thing, like they see it happening in your business. It actually does that, to where their life is enriched and bettered because they help the company be better. It's not just a word that you throw out there. If you help the company out, then you're going to get better too. It's like, no, you put the systems in place to reward them, incentivize them, and gamify stuff, and turn it into this amazing environment to where your weekly team meetings, you're talking about credit score. You're talking about, hey guys, we're going to talk about credit score and how you can build it and how you're going to, be able to have a better credit score, 2 years from now, and we're going to help you do that. We're going to help coach you into that. And we have all these business books up here on the shelf that we're going to give you free access to. And you're required to spend 1 hour of paid education time and personal development per month. It's going to be paid, but you're going to come up here into our upstairs office, and it's going to be our learning zone, and you're going to better yourself as a person while you're here.
Wow.
You may not stay with us forever, and that's fine. If your hopes and dreams and goals is to own and operate your own business,
Wait a second.
no problem. We're going to help you get there, and we're going to help teach you and coach you and help you to enrich your own lives.
So